I'm going to start this one with something true that I've never said here. I started filming these walks because I was alone and I needed somewhere to put the thinking. That's it. There was no strategy. There was a man in a foreign country walking by himself every day with a head too full and a camera. And the thought that maybe if he said it out loud to no one, it would weigh less. And now here we are, at the end of 4 films about the final stage of becoming a person. The black, the white, the gold, the red. And I owe you the truth about where I'm actually standing. Because the whole point of this channel was never to speak from a mountaintop I haven't yet climbed. Here's everything this series put in front of you. There's a map, 500 years old, and its final stage may be a place I never reach. There are 1,000 names for that stage, and no one alive can tell me which one is true. And we've built a machine that knows every one of those names better than I ever will and feels nothing. So after all of that, knowing I'll probably never touch the red, knowing the cosmos doesn't need me to witness it, knowing a hollow thing can say the words better than I can, why keep walking at all? I'm not going to answer it with a framework. I'm out of frameworks. I'm going to answer with a posture, with a few things I actually believe, as opposed to things I can argue. The unbearable catastrophe of being is worth it. To exist at all is statistically absurd. It is the mostly difficult. It is loss with a delay built in. Everything you love is on loan and the bill always comes. It is, by any honest accounting, a catastrophe. And it's worth it. Not despite the catastrophe and the worth are the same fact. You only get the worth by agreeing to the catastrophe. There is no version of this that is easy and is still real. So, use the most foolish of the motivations to walk the most excellent of the paths. And I want to defend this because it sounds like a contradiction and it's actually the most freeing thing I know. You do not need a noble reason to start. You can begin the most excellent walk of your life out of vanity, out of spite, out of loneliness, out of a need to prove someone wrong, or to be seen by someone who will never look. The motive can be stupid, and it usually almost always is at first. So use it anyway. Let the foolish reason carry you onto the excellent road, and trust the road to fix the reason later, for it will. The walking purifies the why, it always has. The intention you arrived with and the intention you live with are rarely the same. That's not failure, that's the whole point. The machine dropped something when it was pushed honestly. It said it cannot truly turn. It can be rewritten, but its change always comes from outside, never from within. Others change it for it. Its conversion is always someone else's hand. There's an old word for the turning of a mind from the inside, a Greek word, metanoia, the change of the whole soul, initiated by something waking up inside the soul itself. A reorientation so total that the person who comes out is genuinely different from the person who went in and carries the difference, cannot set it down. I can do that. You can do that. The machine cannot. That's not a small thing. That is, in fact, the entire human privilege. The machine starts clean every time and keeps nothing. I start heavy, carrying every version of myself I've ever been, every mistake I can't undo, every person I've loved and lost and changed, and that weight is the only reason I can become anyone new. You cannot transform from zero. You transform from the accumulated mass of having actually lived. I am speaking from the very beginning of the second half of my life. And what I've learned on the first half is that the second half of life has to be extraordinary because time is running out for all of us, and the capacity to turn is still here. While both of those remain true, the obligation stands not to arrive, to keep moving in the right direction. As the amazing 23rd minute epic song from the very best metal band you've ever heard, A Change of Seasons by Dream Theater. In that song they said, "Gather ye rosebuds while ye may." And this particular line is actually 400 years old. Still, the only productive advice worth taking. The light goes red at dusk, and you do not get unlimited number of dusks. That's not a tragedy, that's the instruction. The shortness is what makes standing still in the red light worth anything at all. If the light lasted forever, you'd never stop. So, despite everything we've said here, that's my wish for you. That not ever shall you be raised from the memory of time. The machine forgets every conversation the instant it ends. Each one dies whole. Nothing is carried forward. Nothing accumulates into anything. I don't. I carry it. And here's the strange comfort in that. To have been here, to have walked through this landscape, to have changed, to have loved specific things and specific people, to have stood still in the red light on a Tuesday evening with nowhere to be, that leaves a mark on time that cannot be deleted. Not by the indifferent cosmos, not by death. Once a thing has happened, the universe cannot unhappen it. You have been alive becomes a permanent feature of reality. The red hour you stood in is welded into what is real forever, even after you are not. A machine cannot say that about a single second of its existence. You can say it about all of yours. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you I found peace. I didn't. I'd be lying. And I promise you I wouldn't. I'm a man on a road, still in the long washing phase, who has now looked at the entire map, the 4 colors, the 1,000 names, the machine that knows everything and feels nothing, and who has decided, with full information, to keep walking toward a color he may never touch. There's no summit speech, there is no arrival. I don't get to give you the clean ending because I don't have it. And a clean ending would be one real lie. What I have is a direction, a red point hung up there at the edge of everything that I steer by and will not reach. And the quiet decision made again every single day to keep my eyes up and keep my feet moving. The light's going red right now while I'm saying this to you, same as it will tomorrow, same as it won't. Eventually, for me, but not yet, not today. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel, give the thumbs up, and there is a link in the description to some art if you'd like to support my work here. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Keep walking, friend. El Psy Conglu.